The second of 6 stakes races on Saturday at Santa Anita is the $100,000 Speakeasy Stakes. 2-year-old fillies sprinting 5.5 furlongs on turf. This race is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf on November 6th at Keeneland. And whoever wins this race gets an all expenses paid berth to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. And this is a mishmash of a field, very unaccomplished 2-year-olds at this stage of the game. As everyone knows, most of the 2-year-olds across the country have kind of gotten a late start to their season due to the pandemic and the shutdown and the lockdown and all that stuff. But we do have a very evenly matched field. And let's go ahead and take a look at the 9 2-year-olds that entered the Speakeasy Stakes, 5.5 furlongs on turf. We're recording this before the morning line comes out, and I suspect that the favorite will be one of 3 horses, either maiden winner Commander Kai, number 4, or number 7 Wi-Fire, also a maiden winner last time out, or possibly even the filly, number 5 Amanzi Yimpailo, trained by Wesley Ward. This is, again, a very difficult race on which to get a handle because we have horses coming in from out of state. We have horses switching surfaces. It's a scramble of a race, and I'm not convinced that I actually have the right horse. A couple quick notes regarding the course profile. 5.5 furlongs on turf. With the rails at 0, I'm sure that somebody is going to misstate a fact with regards to the turf rail setting, because there seems to be this feeling that when the rails are down, come from behinders win on grass, and when the rails are up, speed horses win on grass. Well, I can tell you this, when it comes to 5.5 furlongs on turf, that is not the case at all. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. 5.5 furlong turf races began last year at Santa Anita. And when the rails are at 0, as they will be on Saturday, 42% of those races were won by the pace setter. That's a higher win percentage by pace setters than rails at 10, rails at 20, rails at 30. My point is this: most rails at 0 turf sprints, 5.5 at Santa Anita, or a good proportion of them anyway, 42%, are won by horses that are able to make the lead, 42%. So that's the reason why I like speed horses in this race. And my top selection, well, actually, it's my second selection, but it's the first one we're going to take a look at, is number 4, Commander Kai. He made his career debut August at Del Mar, finished second, and in his very next start, this was September 4th, I should say, at Del Mar. Now, he got away with an easy opening quarter. He went 23 seconds for the opening quarter, and he was long gone at even money. He won by more than 3 lengths. Decisive win by an improving 2-year-old son of Twirling Candy. Twirling Candy, an excellent turf sire. Commander Kai is trained by Richard Baltus. Umberto Rispoli is back aboard. And Commander Kai, I picked him second. Listen, there are, I think, 3 horses who can win this race. He happened to fall into the 2-hole, in my opinion, Commander Kai. I'm not going to let him beat me. If I play a multi-race exotic wager, Commander Kai will definitely be on the ticket. But my top selection is a horse who has not yet started on grass, and it's number 7, Wi-Fire. Wi-Fire finished 4th in his career debut. Second time out, August 16th at Del Mar. This was on the main track. Let's go ahead and roll the tape and take a look at Wi-Fire winning, dominating actually, to win this maiden dirt sprint. And it was, I don't know if it was really a flashy win. It was certainly decisive. And this was a colt that was previously trained by Luis Mendez. Now, after this race, he was purchased privately by owner Gary Barber, transferred over to trainer Peter Miller. Wi-Fire will be making his first start against winners, first start for Miller, and first start on grass. He's a son of Dominus. Dominus is a son of Smart Strike, so turf should be okay. He has a Tomlinson number of 352. And when you are talking about turf sprints, 5.5 furlongs at Santa Anita, here's a little handicapping gem that is courtesy of Formulator. I said earlier that 5.5 furlong turf sprints were begun at Santa Anita a little bit more than a year ago. Peter Miller has started 47 horses going 5.5 on turf at Santa Anita. 14 winners. That's 14 for 47, a 29% win clip. No handicapping required. 29% winners. Peter Miller, 5.5 on turf. Wi-Fire making his first start for Miller. He's drawn outside his two pace rivals, those being Commander Kai and Amanzi Yimpailo. And I think from where he is drawn with that pressing style that seems to play well with the rails at 0, I'm picking Wi-Fire on top, Commander Kai second, and the ship-in filly, Amanzi Yimpailo, trained by Wesley Ward. She won her career debut at Gulfstream Park. She finished third last time out at Saratoga in a stakes race. Ward put her on a plane and sent her all the way to California to try to get a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Everyone knows Wesley Ward does well with 2-year-olds, and he does well with turf sprinters. So Amanzi Yimpailo, who will be ridden by Luis Saez. Saez is in town to ride for the weekend, and boy, did he pick up a ton of good mounts, including the filly, Amanzi Yimpailo. Fury Cap making his first start for trainer John Sadler, I suppose, has a look. We haven't seen him since March at Tampa Bay. But when all is said and done, I'm going with the reliable Peter Miller to win the Speakeasy Stakes with Wi-Fire, Flavian Pratt aboard. I think he wins with a pressing trip on the outside in his first start on grass. Next start, 6 weeks from now in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Wi-Fire, my selection, race 5, Saturday at Santa Anita.